Hello. So I want to just give a quick briefing. I don't know, quick briefing on what most people find difficulty in the things that make you hit losses, even when you maybe get your strategy that you trade with, but you still end up taking a loss in a particular setup. It's because you are going against the directional bias of the market. What do I mean by directional bias? I mean the current trend that market is currently trending on for that particular period of time. So let's say, for example, now let me give you an instance of how I look for my directional bias. So I use the 4 hours time frame to mark out zones that price can react from, and then I wait for my strategy the strategy that I trade to form at those zones. It's only when price forms that strategy that I trade with at those zones that I can get a confirmation and start taking the bias there. Now, mind you, if you pay attention to my trades, I mostly take trades like the same type of bias. Maybe in a week I can just be buying, then or in this particular week I can just be selling. It's because I focus more on directional bias than just taking every single move I see in the market. So let's say, for example, now this particular trade that made me, I took buys like January on GJPY, and this was the reason why. On the 4 hours time frame, there was a 4 hour order block here. So what I will do is wait for price to get to that 4 hour order block, but I won't jump in immediately when price gets there. I'll wait for price to, the strategy I trade, market structure, liquidity, the POI, there are other things involved in the market structure. You can see your structure shifts, your breakout structure, those things. So if you see that and then you see all your confluences form while at those zones that you marked out, that's when you can now take your trade in line with that current trend. So for example, now this is a 4 hour order block. Normally it's expected to push market up, but I don't just enter a trade when price gets there. I wait to see the strategy that I trade react at those zones. So when price hits that 4 hour order block, I jump down to 15 minutes time frame. So if I'm on the 15 minutes time frame, I will now look for the strategy that I trade to form at that time frame. So for example, now I happen to see the break of structure, my inducement, and then the other block zone. I picked my buy here and I took my buy. Now, mind you, I already have an idea of where price is coming from, where price is reacting from. So I already know the bias of the market. The next thing I need to mark out for is where price is heading to. So for that, we have this 4 hours resistance level here, and we have another 4 hours resistance level here also. Now, if price comes to any of these zones and gives me the strategy that I use for reversals there, then I will know, I can confirm, okay, that price is what is now currently reversing. Because I have to wait for price to give me the strategy at that zone that I marked out. That's when I can confirm, okay, I can now start taking trades in line with this trend. So for example, when I already know that price is buying from this 4 hours of that block, it means on the 15 minutes time frame or any lower time frame, 30 minutes or 1 hour, I'm going to be looking for buys. I'll continue looking for buys until price gets to any of these zones. So for example, now on the 15 minutes time frame, for example, I was buying. So I took my first buy after this structure shift, the inducement, the other block. I took my buy here. I got another buy here, structure shift, inducement, breaker block. I took the second buy. Third buy here, structure shift, inducement, breaker block, third buy. Fourth buy, structure shift, inducement, other block, fourth buy. Now price got to this 4 hours resistance level here. Expectedly, I'm supposed to stop looking for buys at that zone. But what the price do, before price came here to trigger this my zone, it was ranging between that 4 hours resistance level. It never touched it. Immediately when price touched that zone, it broke past it. It's telling me that this zone is not going to hold for reversals. So because of that, I looked for another buy here. Structure shifts, inducement, other block. I took this buy here, and then after I hit my buy, price got to another zone on the 4 hours time frame that I was expecting a reversal from. You understand the concept of your support and resistance still work, but you have to use that in line with the strategy that you trade with. So for example, now if price gets to my support or my resistance, I have to now wait for the strategy I trade with to form while at those zones. And the higher the time frame, the more effective the move is going to be. On 1 minute time frame, price can bounce off of a support, but it will not last long. But if it's on the 4 hours time frame, the move will be longer because it's a high time frame. So on the 4 hours resistance level up here, I am marked out that zone. And what I will do is wait for price to come to that zone and give me a reaction while at that zone. So if price go to the 4 hours time frame, and now how to look for the strategy that I trade with. So now we're expecting sales because price at the 4 hours time frame. So because I'm expecting sales, I'm going to be looking for things that will give me a reversal. The strategy that I use in trading reversals. That's what I'm going to be looking out for here. So on the 30 minutes time frame, I happen to see a structure shift to the downside here, while at that 4 hours resistance level. So a structure shift to the downside, saw my inducement, and then the breaker block. That's why I took my sell. Now, mind you that now that I'm taking my sell, it means that the directional for bias for the market has turned bearish. So I'm not going to be looking for anything buys. I'm mostly going to be focused on sells. Any buys you take is going to be probably temporal. So because on a 4 hours time frame, price got there, I still gave you a confirmation by giving you the strategy that you use in trading reversals. While at that zone, can now be like, okay, the directional for bias for the market has shifted from bullishness towards it being bearish. So because of that, I took this sell. I still got another confirmation again with the strategy that I trade with, and I took another sell. Got another confirmation with strategy I trade with, took another sell here. Got another confirmation again with strategy, took another sell here also from this breaker. I also took another sell here, but I did this thing. So because of the directional bias of the market, I already know what I'm going to be looking out for the rest of the week. So on the 4 hours time frame, all you need to mark out on the 4 hours time frame are just zones that markets can possibly cause reversals from. But while price at that zone, you now start waiting for the strategy you use in getting those confirmations. So most people, depending on what you trade, I'll look for the one I trade. If price comes to those zones, I look for the confirmation I need with what I trade with. So once it's confirmed, I can now start taking trades in line with that current trend. That was why I took sell. Same thing on BTC. If you noticed on BTC, I was taking sales basically the whole of this week. That was how I was able to close this week in $20,000 profit. And it's barely this thing. It's not even been up to 3 days. So I already knew on the 4 hours time frame this zone 4 hours of that block. So because of that, I'm taking sales, and I expect price to take down this trend line liquidity. So because I'm expecting price to take out this trend line liquidity, that's on the 4 hours time frame. Because of that, I kept looking for sales. So this is trend line liquidity on 4 hours time frame. I took the first sell here. After that, I continued looking for sales again. I took another sell from this breaker block here, took another sell here, took another sell here. So that was why I kept taking sales on BTC, because I understood the directional bias for the market was bearish on the 4 hours time frame, and for it to take profits, it has to clear this trend line liquidity. There are other things that goes deeper to understanding this particular thing, but the 4 hours conviction basically is just to know where market is coming from and where price is heading to. So for this BTC, I understood that price was already bearish, and for it to take profit, it has to clear this trend line liquidity. So I'm not going to be focused on buys. These other blocks here that people are going to be buying from, I'm not focused on it, because the buys will just be temporal. So I've continued taking sales and sales and sales and sales until price cleared what that trend line liquidity, and then I was satisfied. This was BTC this week. Okay, so BTC this week. That was what saved me. BTC continued taking sales. The same week on when I took buy on BTC, I hit a loss. When I took buy on BTC here, I hit loss because I was not following the directional bias. So that's just this. No higher time frame convictions. It helps a lot.